Welcome to the Parental Empowerment Show. My name is Faith Blessing, and today we shall be talking about, or rather learning about, advocacy and support groups. For many of us, we've been in positions of defending maybe our loved ones or even ourselves, but today's discussion will help us understand what our rights are for persons with disability and how parents can engage in matters advocacy. In studio, we have a guest who will help us understand what advocacy and support groups are all about and how we can be an influence, a good influence to such a cause. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Faith.
Please introduce yourself and as well tell us something short about yourself.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here with you, Faith. My name is Jolene Owinga. I am a human rights defender and a community development worker. I have worked with children in need of care and protection, both in the streets and the slums. I've worked with youth, and I've worked with persons with disability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that intro. What is advocacy and support groups?
Advocacy is standing up for our rights, defending our rights, and speaking about our rights. Support groups, where we come together to support each other, those with the same goals. For example, parents with disability, parents of children with disability coming together to support each other in information sharing and group peer-to-peer support to just know how best to take care of their children. Yes.
Okay. You were telling me, Offset, about the advocacy rights that are there for persons with disability. Are there also rights for parents with children with disability?
Yes. Parents of children with disability are Kenyans. They are human beings. So as long as the Constitution of Kenya protects the human rights of everyone, both international and local laws protect the human rights of everyone. So it means parents have rights, as just as you and I have rights. So to that extent, they have rights. Yes.
And what are the laws that are there that advocate for parents with children with disability?
Thank you for the question. The parents of children with disability are protected by the laws of Kenya, just like you and I and any other Kenyan. There are four fundamental, in summary, human rights that I would mention: the right to life, the right to survive, the right to develop, and the right to be protected from any harm and danger. So every human right, every Kenyan, according to the Chapter 4 of the Constitution, has the same rights.
Okay.
Yes.
And in regards to this, are there like are they separate laws, or they are all laws that they are laws that are put together with or without disability involved?
The Constitution talks about in Chapter 4 about the fundamental human rights, which is universal for all Kenyans. But with regards to disability, a person with disability have more enhanced laws, and don't think it focuses on the parent. It focuses on the person with disability, adult or child. So we have the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, we have the Children's Act, we have the Disability Act, and we have Basic Education Act. All these talk about specific issues about persons with disability and children with disability. Yes.
Okay. So if a parent does not have disability, they just fall under the normal laws, right?
Yes.
Okay. in matters regards to support groups, what you've described support groups, but are there support groups for parents?
Yes, there are, but this is defined by the nature of disability and the organizations for persons with disability. We have different organizations focusing on specific disabilities. For example, I work, part of the work I do is for Spina Bifida and Hydrocephalus Association of Kenya. We have 16 parent group support across 24 counties. That we discuss is matter, spina bifida and hydrocephalus and other related conditions. I know of Kenya Association for the Welfare of Epilepsy. I know of Kenya Association for Intellectually Handicapped. I know Andy Speaks for Neurodiverse Kids. I know APDK. They focus on different categories of disability. And there are groups that support the parents. We also have Women Challenge to Challenge. This focuses on women with disability. Yes.
Okay. You were showing me a few points on advocacy and the data that is there in regards to children with disability in our country. Please, do you mind taking us through the advocacy points that you were sharing with me, Offset?
Yes. One thing that I must admit is that we do not have actual data for persons with disability in this country. Currently, the World Health Organization puts the disability data at 16% of the population. That is more than 1 billion persons in the world have disability. When we come to Kenya, we're about 900. We are not even 1 million, which contradicts the data we had in 2009 census. The recent one is 2019 census. But the data gap is very huge. So that means there's something that went wrong through the census. So I can't say that is the data we have. I would rather use the international data. Yes. Again, when we come to UNICEF, UNICEF released a data that shows that 5.1% children with disability, children in Kenya have some form of disability, severe to moderate. So that already is more than what the census gave in terms of disability. Again, the data speaks of 1% of persons with disability in the global south do not know how to read and write. So, and then 67%, the recently released data by National Council, the status of disability in Kenya, shows that 67% of persons with disability live in poverty. So those are advocacy areas that we need to think about. I would bring you to speed on education. Just as to pick part of it now that we are in KICD. How many schools do we have that caters for the needs of persons with disability? I'll take us back to last year's Elimu scholarship. How many children with disability, this is a government scholarship, how many children with disability got the Elimu scholarship? None. Yet the scholarship has been given to more than 5,000 children. And the most worrying data to me is from the duty bearer, the government. Currently, the public service, who is the employer for the public servant, has only mainstreamed 1.4% of persons with disability in the public service. The Constitution talks of a minimum of 5%, at least 5% of the workforce. In the appointive and elective positions should be persons with disability. We are at 1.4. What is the reason? It is because we are not intentional, we are not strategic, and we are not consistent. That would be the reason. Yes.
Okay. Those are all the points.
That is just with regards to the data.
Okay.
Yes.
And there were other points that you were sharing with us.
Again, I would say that disability is anchored in a family.
Yeah.
In Kenya right now, you'll find like 50% of families of people with disability
Yeah.
are headed by a single mother.
Yeah.
Or if there is a father, the father is an absentee father. This points directly to the stigma and the negative cultural practices that we have in the society that relates to disability. So how is it that these children are born in Kenya? And the last I checked, a child should have a father and a mother. But in most cases, they're cared for by single parents. There are very few cases where you find a single father taking care of a child with disability. So, yes.
Okay. In regards to the data you are sharing, is help, because we have National Council which helps to advocate for persons with disability as well. What's their input in regards to the data shared, and as well, is it are children with disability getting the funding they need for their education? Are parents being accessed, as in is there accessibility for parents there?
There's one thing to provide a platform and opportunity, but there's the other issue of accessibility. How accessible are these opportunities, and who shares the information so that the parents are aware? Half of the persons with disability live in the rural areas. Do we have that information? That there's some funding somewhere that we can access? Then the other issue is, how long does it take from the time I apply for the funds to the time I get it? The experience I have is when you apply, there's the LPO financing for people with disability. You will apply for the funds when you have an LPO, but the funds will not arrive in 3 months. So the time for supplying will have lapsed. So yes, the fund is there, but how accessible is the fund?
So there's need for an improvement.
There's need for improvement.
And a review.
Yes, of how to disseminate the information.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so before we end the interview, is there something you'd like to tell our parents in regards to their advocacy and support groups?
Yes, I would tell the parents one thing that I will say without blinking an eye. You are a parent. You are not a half parent because you have a child with disability. Your child is a human being, is a person, and so walk with your head high that you are a parent. Secondly, the challenges that come with parenting a child with disability are huge, but that does not mean that you give up. Does not mean that you abandon the child or become the first line human rights violator. You need to seek help. I know it comes with a lot of challenges. Seek psychosocial help. Talk to someone. Talk to a neighbor. Talk to somebody within the community when you're having these challenges, especially the mental wellness. They will come. There's a lot of financial gaps that involve financial needs when you're taking care of a child with special needs. We have to keep on soldiering on, but I would also say that no one sits on your back unless you're bending. Speak up, walk with your head high, and know your rights. The only way to defend yourself is that you know, I know these are my rights. So somebody will not violate your rights if they realize you know the rights. You need to know the rights that your child has. And you need to speak about these rights with your children so that the society is aware. How will they know unless we tell them? Some of the challenges we experience is because people don't know the issues that relate to disability. Even to date, people in Kenya know disability is a white cane, is a wheelchair, is crutches, and is sign language. the hidden disability, the mental disability, are not known.
Yeah.
So how will they know unless we parents speak about it?
Yes.
Unless the persons with disability speak about it?
Yeah.
Unless we get so many other shows like this to talk about disability?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming to
Thank
studio
you.
and educating us more about advocacy and support groups. We really appreciate.
Thank you, Faith, for the opportunity. Always a pleasure to talk about disability.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Thank you.
Friends, remember the hashtag is parenting children with disability. We shall be back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now we shall take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability.
Do you know UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability under Article 8 states, parties undertake to adopt immediate, effective and appropriate measures, A, to raise awareness throughout society, including at the family level, regarding persons with disabilities and to foster respect for the rights and dignity of persons with disabilities. B, to combat stereotypes, prejudice, and harmful practices relating to persons with disabilities, including those based on sex and age in all areas of life. C, to promote awareness of the capabilities and contributions of persons with disabilities.
I hope that you are enjoying the show. This is the Parental Empowerment Show, and now we shall take a look at therapy.
On this hand, we have devices that are used during the rehabilitation process, especially for mobility. So with me here, I have a modern standing aid that has different features. So we have a head support, the trunk support, the waist support, and the legs and foot support that are used when helping the client to stand in any inclination from supine lying all the way to standing position. So from the standing aid, we can able to progress the patient to different types of walkers that we use for support, and also gait trainers that we use for mobility, and also the normal walking frame that we used, now heading to the final stages of mobility. And then from this, we progress to the crutches, and then to maybe the walking stick, and finally to training gait without the assistive devices. Yeah, nimekava zote. Okay. Yeah. From that? From once the patient is done with this, yeah, you say they are through. Okay. So should I give the names, Ama? Yeah. Okay, the exact names, eh? Okay. So once the patient is advancing or progressing from standing assisted, they are able to use one of the assistive devices that is used for supporting both sides during walking. And then from this walking frame, we also go to a gait trainer that the patient is able to use it when standing in a reverse manner. So instead of the patient standing this way, they're able to stand in a reverse manner to help with support at the back side of the patient. And then from this, we advance to a normal walking frame, whereby the patient is assisted when walking forward using the frame. And then we can assist the patient also with again a normal frame during the mobility.
Wow, now we have come to the end of our show today. We have learned about advocacy and support groups, and we have said that we should know our rights and be vocal about our rights. My name is Faith Blessing, and this is the Parental Empowerment Show. Till next time here on Edu TV. Bye-bye.
The National Educator.